Hello, I'm Rebecca, and this is Gentle Yoga for Cancer. Welcome. I was just saying that we will be starting lying on our backs, but if that is not a comfortable posture for you, then please feel free to sit up or sit in a chair if that's the best place for you today. Take a moment to find your starting position, whatever that looks like for you. And as you arrive, allow your hips to be heavy and settle. Feel your feet on the ground. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed down your back toward the floor if you're lying down. And allow your head to be comfortably centered over your body and resting on the floor if you are lying down. Just take a few moments to breathe, noticing your sensory environment today. What do you feel around you? What is the air like in your space? Can you feel a fan blowing or your air conditioning? And what is the light like? What do you see? Allow your eyes to close or take a soft gaze and come back into a more personal inner experience. Begin to notice how you're showing up today. How are you feeling? What is the quality, excuse me, I have a little cough today. What are the qualities of your breath today? Is it restricted? Is it moving? Is it deep or shallow, quick or slow? Just observe without judgment, without changing anything, just noticing the breath. And then begin to deepen the breath, filling up to a comfortably full sensation of inhale. Noticing the moment that the inhale becomes the exhale, and a long, slow emptying of the breath, and the body's decision to breathe again. Each breath, a new opportunity, excuse me, to get very present. Each new inhale brings you back into your body and into the present moment. We'll take 5 long, slow inhales and exhales. And after your 5th exhale, release control of the breath and take inventory once again to see how you're feeling. So I'm going to be cueing our next several asana practice from the chair, but you can be on your back or seated, whatever feels best in your body. If you're lying on your back, have your knees bent, your feet and knees about hip distance apart, same if you're sitting in a chair. Lengthen your spine, reaching from tailbone up through the crown of the head. Allow your hands to rest at your sides or on your lap. And we'll begin with a pelvic tilt. As you exhale, press the small of your back into the floor or tuck your tailbone under if you're seated. As you Inhale, release that press, and allow the natural curve of your low back to reassert. Exhale, curl, press. Inhale, release, and create that lumbar curve. We'll do this for several breaths. Exhale and press. Inhale and open. Moving with your breath. Noticing what the sensations are as you begin to move your body. And this or the next time that you come through neutral spine, pause there. We're going to extend the right leg out long, sliding it along the mat, flexing through your foot and ankle, pressing long. And then see if you can draw the other knee up towards your chest. Hugging one knee in, extending the other on the floor. Let it be long. And release, coming back to your starting position. If you're doing this seated, make sure you're sitting toward the front of your chair so you have some room to move. Extending the other leg and drawing one knee up. Maybe you hold behind your thigh. Maybe you can hold over the knee or shin. Feeling that opposition of the knee that's pulling in and the leg that's reaching long. And release and come back to neutral. Let's go ahead and roll to one side. We're going to come to hands and knees, tabletop position. And again, if sitting is a better posture for you for this, then please go ahead and stay there. I'm going to move down to the floor now. And make sure that you have some padding underneath your knees if you're kneeling. Knees and hips stacked underneath each other if you're sitting in a chair, that same orientation. Hands spread wide on the mat or try knuckles or forearms. And have your hands underneath your shoulders. We'll move into a cat and cow, similar to what we did lying on our backs or sitting in the chair. We'll inhale and open the front body, lifting the chest. If your hands are on your knees, press into your hands to open the chest. Exhale and tuck the pelvis, draw the belly in and up. Release your head. Maybe you pull on your knees if you're seated. Inhale and open the front body. Exhale, curl. Inhale and open, beginning to connect movement and breath. Stay with it. Now, you may enjoy some hip circles or torso circles. If you're on your knees, you can roll your hips to one side and back, the other side and forward. If you're seated, you can circle your torso, beginning to get some movement into the body. If you're circling, then move in the other direction. and find your way to stillness with a long spine. We'll do just a few belly pull-ins to get nice and strong and support the low back. So inhale, let your belly be soft. Exhale, draw the belly in, squeezing in towards the center. Inhale, release and soften in the belly. Exhale, squeeze and draw the belly up and in. Several more. Inhale to release and exhale, squeeze. Take your time. And this or the next time that you finish your exhale and squeeze, soften and release, but don't let your belly sag, right? Keep a little bit of integrity here to protect your low back. Let's extend one leg behind us. If you're seated, you can extend the leg straight ahead in front of you. Pressing out through your heel, get nice and long. Maybe you'll add a reach of the opposite arm. Inhale, reach. And if you'd like, exhale, draw knee and elbow towards each other. Inhale, reach. And exhale in. Maybe two more, maybe not. And this or the next time that you come through the center line, come back to your starting position. And we'll move to the other side, extending one leg long, press out through the heel. If you're seated, just extend the leg in front of you. Stay right here, building strength, or add the reach. On hands and knees, this is a balance pose and a strengthener. Inhale, reach, exhale, in towards center. Maybe one more if you have it. Replace knees and hands. If you're on hands and knees, walk your knees out wide, toes together, and come into child's pose. Releasing your head down towards stacked fists or hands, or even all the way down to the mat. Take several breaths here. If you're seated, you can take a very gentle fold by placing your forearms on your thighs. Softening your head, letting your chin tuck just a little bit. Let go with a sigh. Two more big breaths. Full inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale here. And exhale. If you're in child's pose, come up through tabletop and make your way into a seated posture. You can sit on a chair or sit up on a cushion. I have this nice little heart-shaped zafu cushion, which is very comfortable. It's nice and supportive for the body. I'm having some hip and low back problems, so I may modify if I need to, and you can do the same, of course. Sitting up nice and tall, let's move into our sun breaths. Turn your palms up and inhale, float your arms up or out. Turn palms down and slowly exhale, releasing arms down. Inhale, floating up. And exhale, release down. Two more. Inhale, arms come up. You can bend your elbows as you need to. Exhale down. Last time, inhale, reach out or up, lift up out of your waist. Lower one hand and come up and over. Maybe reach with a long arm. If you're in a chair, you can hold on to your chair seat for support. Maybe you bend your elbow and bring your hand behind your neck. Maybe we'll all do that. Let's do it. Inhale, press your elbow back, opening through the heart. Exhale and draw your elbow forward as if you were going to touch your knee. Look down towards the floor. Inhale, open, and exhale, twist. 2 more. And exhale, twist. Last one. And exhale, twist. Inhale to open, release, and come up through center. We'll move to the other side. Up and over, get the long stretch, and then bend your elbow, hand behind the head. Open up here, and exhale, twist. Inhale and open. Exhale, twist. Open on the inhale. Twisting on the exhale. Last one, open on the inhale. Twist on the exhale. And then inhale, coming up through center. Let's move into an upright twist. We'll inhale, maybe arms come up or out. Bring one hand to the opposite knee, the other hand behind you. Inhale and grow nice and tall. Exhale, squeeze and look over or towards your shoulder. Inhale back through center, reach up, get nice and long, and exhale to the other side. Inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, twist and squeeze. We'll do that once more to each side. Move with your breath speed, staying for at least one extra breath. Using the breath as you move from side to side, finding space and twisting more deeply. Inhale back up through center and exhale, hands to heart center. Let's inhale, arms out, palms up. Make a soft fist, bend your elbows and begin to circle. Circling through the wrist. And take it in the opposite direction. Bring your fingertips to your shoulders and begin to draw big circles as if you had magic marker elbows. Really take your time as you roll the shoulder blades on the back. And then we'll reverse up and open. We feel the movement of the shoulders. If it's painful, don't press into the pain. Just make a smaller range of motion just to get some movement there. Reverse again, this time one at a time. Infinity elbows. And reverse last time, one at a time, going backwards. Beautiful. Press out, flexing through the wrists. You can have a soft elbow if you need. And then point fingertips down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, down. Once more, press up and down. And then shake out your arms, shake out your shoulders, your hips. And we'll make our way up to standing. And of course, if standing is not comfortable for you today, that's fine. You can stay seated. And take your time finding your mountain pose. feet about hip distance apart. And when I say hip distance, people sometimes think I mean this, right? The outside of the hip. But I don't. I mean as if your leg is coming directly out from the hip joint and reaching straight down into the ground. Bring your hips, your hands, up on top of your hips. And then let's rock a little bit, front and back. Lifting your toes, lifting your heels. Lifting your toes, lifting your heels. Take a moment and find the place where you feel balanced between heels and toes. It may not be where you normally stand. Notice if it feels like you're leaning further back or further forward. Just take note. Lift your toes up if you can and spread them wide. Let's put them down just a little bit at a time. Nice and wide, big yoga feet. Lift toes up once again, spread them out as wide as you can. Put just your pinkies toes down. Then the middle three, and then the big toes. That's a feet goals, right? Nice wide base of support. Let's inhale, arms float up, palms come together. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that twice more. Pause here. Take a moment to look ahead of you and spy something on your horizon line that isn't moving. You've heard this many times, but I'm looking at my bookcase and I have this little book of Frida Kahlo. So I have her face right at the perfect spot. We're going to move into a balance practice. If you know that you need additional support, take a moment now and make sure that you have it. Either turn, fingers on a wall, or if you have some sturdy piece of furniture handy, you can put a hand on that. Just make sure you know it's not going to tip. Eyes on your drishti, your focal point. Press down through your feet and then hug your ankles in as if you were squeezing a block between them. Keep that sensation of moving towards the midline. The inner thighs move towards each other. Lift your pelvic floor. Lift your low belly, your heart, and the crown of the head. Get nice and tall. Very active mountain pose. And then we'll move into our flying crane. Inhale, wings come out. Lift one foot as if you're stepping up onto a box. Inhale, back through center, carefully placing the leg down. Exhale to center, and then inhale and lift onto the other side. And now we'll fly. Exhale to center, inhale, lift. Exhale to center, inhale, lift. Just a few more like this. Couple more. And the next time that you're lifting, hold, 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 and release back through center. Other side, lift and hold, and hold, and release down, back through center. Find your mountain pose, getting nice and tall and strong, palms together. Begin to feel the energy between your palms. Can you feel that heat? Maybe a little bit of vibration? Begin to move your palms away from each other and see if you can feel that energy moving between your palms. If you can, then see if you can move it a little further out. Where do you lose that sensation of energy? Keep moving back in and taking it a little bit wider and a little bit wider. From here, lower it down. Can you keep that sense of energy pulsing between your palms? Lift it up and throw it. Great. Bend your elbows once again, palms facing each other. Let's make little fists, soft fists. And then inhale, spread fingers wide. Exhale, soft fists. Inhale and spread fingers wide. Now we're going to make bear claws by curling just our top knuckles. Bear claws. Spread fingers wide, open the palms, soft fist. Bear claws. Spread wide, open up, bear claws, soft fist. Bear claws, soft fist. Spread wide, open up, soft fist. Bear claws, open, soft fist, open, bear claws, open, bear claws, open, soft fist, and shake it out. Beautiful job. We have one more balance pose before we move on, and that's our tree practice. So again, make sure that you have support. You might start with your hands on the top of your hips or hands at heart center, or one hand. And take a moment to really find your sense of grounding. So we start from the mountain, that stability, that groundedness, and then we move into a somewhat less grounded tree pose because we send one foot deep into the earth and the other comes up. We turn out and place the sole of the foot somewhere, maybe at the ankle with the toes down, or at the calf or the thigh, above or below the knee. Feeling that connection of foot to leg, check and see if your hip has popped out and tuck it back up and under so that you're strong and tall. Make sure you're breathing, drawing energy up from the ground. Let it come up through heart center and into the canopy of your tree. Eyes on your focal point. Come in and out as you need to. Open the heart. And exhale, hands to heart center, 2 feet down, and carefully walk it out. Beautiful. Coming back to the stability of the mountain. Eyes on your focal point. Find that space. Root down through both feet, getting nice and strong, and then shift so slightly to the other foot, releasing and finding your foot position on this side. Maybe it's different on this side. Again, make sure you're up and over your leg. Hip is drawn in. Little micro adjustments. Breath is flowing up and up. Maybe branches grow. Can you be nice and steady in the lower body and buoyant, energetic, reaching in the upper body? One more breath and back through heart center. Walk it out gently. And then come to stillness. Pause here. If you'd like, and it's safe, allow your eyes to close. And notice what it's like to find your balance without the visual field from the inside out. Inhale, blink eyes open as you reach up, palms together, and hands to heart center. Shake it out. I'd like to work a little bit with our chair practice, and that is not sitting on a chair necessarily. It is Utkatasana, which is a pose that is sometimes called chair pose. Sometimes it's called awkward pose or thunderbolt pose. So if you have a block, I have this nice sort of thin block, and it's just the right size for me to bring between my thighs so that I can squeeze in towards it and imagine I could send the block out behind. So it's kind of this action. I don't know if you can see that. Squeezing and turning it back. I've heard this, here you can't see it because yeah, I've got my long shirt on. Yeah, there we go. I've heard this called the Pez dispenser. So do with that what you will. I'm going to walk a little closer. Okay, perfect. So squeezing in towards center, and you can do this seated if you like. Get nice and strong. Let your hands rest on your thighs. We're going to begin to sit back, squeezing in towards the block. But remember that the chair is not behind you exactly. So make sure that you're nice and strong on your feet. Look down and make sure you can see your toes. Your knees are sitting over your ankles. You're reaching back through the tailbone and lengthening through the spine. One more breath, and then press down to rise up. Beautiful. Now you can do that again. I'm going to show this in a chair. It's a little bit different. I'll put the block to the side for the chair. Let's do it this way. When we're seated in a chair, we do this we start with as if. And what that means is we begin to lean forward as if we're going to get up. As if. As if. And we come all the way up. So if you're working in a chair, you can work on that as if, the engagement of those muscles, lifting, and maybe you'll float up and out of the chair. If you're working with your blocks, here's another option. And we call these zombie arms. Sit back, reaching forward. You can turn your palms to face each other and keep squeezing in towards center. Make sure you can see your toes and make sure that your back is nice and long. Reaching through the crown of the head, reaching through the fingertips. One more inhale and then press down to rise up. Squeeze in towards center. We'll do one more version. So hands on thighs, zombie arms, or we'll bring arms overhead. Inhale and reach. Sitting back, we have this nice counter pose of the arms reaching overhead, the tailbone reaching behind, squeezing in towards center, drawing the belly in and up to support the back. One more breath, and then press down and rise up. Ooh, that felt good. How about you? Shake that out, and we'll do one more standing pose. I'm going to grab some water first. You might want some too. We will do one more sequence, and I'm going to show it from a chair. You can do it seated in a chair or standing. So if you're seated in a chair, you're going to walk your feet out nice and wide. You'll turn the right toes out so that they're facing towards the opposite wall, towards the side wall. And then maybe extend out through this leg, turning your feet in a little bit. I don't know if you can see my feet well enough. I hope you can. And then come into your warrior two. If you're standing, it's the same idea, bending the front knee over the ankle and angling the back foot. Reaching out through your fingertips, turn and look over your front fingertips. Press down through your feet and draw them towards each other. lifting the pelvic floor and the low belly to get really strong in this pose. And then press down, straighten your legs, and turn all toes to face forward. Good. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way, but you can do all of this seated. From here, we'll move to the other side, turning toes out, pressing your heel away, bending your knee right over the ankle. What we want to avoid is lunging. It's not a lunge, it's more of a plie if you've done any dance. So we're staying nice and upright, but we're bending one leg. Inhale, arms to shoulder height. Turn and look out over your front fingertips. Press down through your feet. Draw them towards each other to lift through the inner thighs, through the pelvic floor. Lift the low belly. Open the heart. One more breath here. And then release arms down, straighten your legs, and turn so your feet face forward. Walk in just a little bit, and let's circle the hips. Let your knees bend. If you're seated, you can circle the torso instead. Get a nice circle going. Move in the other direction. Yes. And come to stillness. One more standing practice. It's part of our Warrior Two practice. So we'll turn to the first side once again. Remember to turn your heel presses away on the back leg, and you have this 45 or so degree angle. Bend into that front knee. Knee is over the ankle. Keep pressing that knee open. Inhale, arms reach. Look out over your front fingertips. Now you can stay here, building strength, or bend your elbow and bring your forearm to your thigh and reach up or over. Nice long line. You can also do this with a bent elbow if that's better. Extended side angle. Now we're going to inhale back up through Warrior Two. Keep that knee bent. Turn your front palm to face up. Slowly release your back hand either to your thigh or to your hip, and then raise the front arm up. Keep that bend in your knee. You can look straight ahead, up at your hand, or down towards your back foot. Peaceful warrior. Inhale back to Warrior Two. Release and straighten. Walk your feet in and little walk out. One more side to go. Take it slow. Don't ever walk into pain. If it's uncomfortable, back off. Do it smaller. Do it a little less. Turning out, turning in, right? So one leg is internally rotated, one leg is externally rotated. Bend the knee right over the ankle. Inhale the arms to shoulder height. Look out over front fingertips. We are building strength and endurance. We are strengthening our bones. And we are moving the lymph through the body, squeezing on one side, opening the other. Inhaling back up releases the lymph. Turn the front palm up, hand down to thigh or hip. Peaceful warrior. Keep that bend in the front knee if you can. Inhale back to Warrior Two. Release and straighten. Walk your feet in and hip circles. Don't you feel strong, steady, ready to take on whatever is coming your way? Good, bad, joyful, challenging. Come back to center, hips sway a little bit from side to side. Make sure there's space around you, feet about mat width apart, and gentle circles with the arms. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful job. And we're going to move back down to a seat. You can sit up on the floor or up in a chair, whatever feels best in your body. So take your time and make your way to a comfortable seat. We're going to work with soles of feet together, knees apart. If you're sitting in a chair, just walk your feet in closer and let your knees, like walk your legs out first, and then walk your feet in so your knees can drop out a little bit and get a stretch here. If that's not comfortable, then just walk both feet and knees out nice and wide. Taking a moment, maybe you'd like to rock from side to side here. And come to stillness, sitting up nice and tall. Notice here if you're tending to roll back onto your tailbone. And if you are, then that's a good indicator that you need to sit up a little higher, maybe on the edge of a folded blanket, or I have this bit of mat I sometimes can fold up like this. I don't know if you can see that, I think so. And I bring it behind me. I can either sit on the edge of it or just tuck it up underneath my hips, and that helps me to sit up nice and tall, gives me just a little bit more support. From here, we'll inhale and reach up through the crown of the head. Exhale, see if you can soften and let your knees drop. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head, tailbone to crown. Exhale, relax in your hips and inner thighs. See if you can release a little bit more. 3 more breaths. Bring your hands under your knees and walk your feet out nice and wide. If you're sitting in a chair, just walk your feet out wide. You should sit on toward the edge of your seat. Just make sure you're not going to tip the chair or fall off the edge. Sitting up nice and tall, same thing here. If you suddenly notice you're rocking to your tailbone, sit up on the edge of a cushion or blanket. Knees and feet pointing up towards the ceiling, active. Press out through your heels. Keep a little bend in your knees. In fact, press down through your heels and imagine you're drawing, like you're trying to bend your knees, but you're fighting against it. It's sort of that isometric push and pull. And that'll engage all the way through the leg. Just hold here for a breath. And then you can soften and relax it a little bit. Let's inhale here and get nice and tall. You can reach up overhead if you feel like you have some space. Exhale, we're going to tip forward from the hip. So hinging at the hip, not rounding. As soon as you feel like your back starts to round, come back, lengthen, and then come forward. So we don't want to go past where our back is going to round. Once you find your edge, release your hands down. Now you may be right at it, right at the beginning. Bring your fingertips behind you for more support. If you have a little more space, you can come forward a little bit. Hands to your sticky mat or hands on your thighs. Press down into the mat and draw back, lengthening the spine. Exhale, soften. See if there's a little more space. Inhale, lengthen. Reach. And exhale, soften. 2 more breaths. And last one. press into your fingertips. Just slowly come all the way back up. Let your feet walk in a little bit closer and take some teeny bounces. And then see if you can let your legs flop in and out, releasing through the hip. Beautiful job. So we're going to come in to a comfortable position for a guided meditation. So if you like, you can be seated. And if you prefer, you can come into a lying down position. So take a moment to make sure wherever you're choosing to be, that you can really be comfortable wherever you're choosing. And in this class, if you find yourself to be uncomfortable at some point in the process, then please switch it up. Don't sit in pain, being distracted by that. Shift and then come back to stillness. What we say in meditation class is to suffer the itches and twitches. So fix your hair and your shirt. I'm going to fix my headphones. And then try not to get distracted by those little things. Pain is different. Pain, we switch, we move. So take a moment to feel the ground beneath you, whatever position you've chosen to be in. Notice the soft and gentle passage of breath through your body. With each exhale, see if you can let go just a little bit more. We had a vigorous standing practice. So now we want to counter that with letting go, so the body can integrate and process that effort. Letting go on the exhales, becoming more spacious on the inhales. Now I'm going to take us through a point meditation where I will say a body part, like your right index finger, and I want you just to bring your attention there for a moment. And then I'll say the next point. So it's just bringing your attention. You don't have to do anything or say anything or even think anything. Just focus your attention where I send you with my words. We'll start at the crown of the head. Center of the forehead. Throat. Center of the heart. Right shoulder. Right elbow. Right wrist. Right thumb. Right index finger. Right middle finger. Right ring finger. Right pinky finger. Right wrist. Right elbow. Right shoulder. Center of the heart. Left shoulder. Left elbow. Left wrist. Left thumb. Left index finger. Left middle finger. Left ring finger. Left pinky finger, left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, center of the heart, belly button, center of the pelvis, right hip, right knee, right ankle, right big toe, right second toe, right third toe, right fourth toe, right pinky toe, right ankle, right knee, right hip, pelvic floor, left hip, left knee, left ankle, left big toe, left second toe, left third toe, left fourth toe, left pinky toe, left ankle, left knee, left hip, pelvic floor, center of the low belly, right above your belly button, center of the heart, center of the throat, center of the forehead, crown of the head, crown of the head, crown of the head. Come into a period of silence and rest. An ocean opens between one thought and the next. I fall in, swim, dive, lose myself, and rise to the surface where the mind still compares, judges, and tries to figure things out. This silent sea of energy and truth includes the visible universe and the invisible too. It's all here inside me, the body-mind, and the unchanging field in which the world arises. My identity dissolves and reforms a dozen times in one brief meditation. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, if you're lying down, roll to one side and pause. And then press into your fingertips to bring yourself up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with one chant of Om for the community we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.